What makes a good story? Does it have to involve failure? How about failure twice? Or how about just a Jeffrey Award recipient? Well, that's what Katie Gunvalson is, aka Raven. And we got to know each other a lot better after we had a podcast. We don't number these podcasts, but I've released over 130 of them. So it was probably somewhere in the 80th episode range. But she came on and we talked about failure on the Pacific Crest Trail because her FKT was cut short on day one of going for it. It wasn't her fault. Nope, it was a wildfire. So thanks, Obama, for global warming. Anyways, she just set the record on the Oregon Coast Trail. She broke the overall supported time, but she went self-supported. So she did what most people call a slower way to do it, and she did it faster than any woman who's ever done it. Super incredible. And what's even more incredible is after the PCT failure, she finished that trail. So her why must have been extremely strong because she wasn't even going to get the blank checks that FKT Association sends out for every FKT holder. I get mine. It's like a royalty every year. It's massive. You can tell I can't even afford sleeves for my shirt. But then she went after the Arizona Trail record and failed. Then she went out and helped Nick. I helped as well. And we were pacing Nick to a supported PCT record. Nick failed. That failed too. So lots of failure. But what does she do? She pulls herself back up by her bootstraps, back up by her trail running shoelaces, and goes after the Oregon Trail. The Oregon Trail. That would be cool. Actually, I'll let her know. That'd be a cooler FKT. No big deal, Katie. The Oregon Coast Trail record. And this trail is really cool because it depends on like tides and tide schedules. So you can only hit a couple different sections of it at certain times of day, aka low tide. And so we get into that. But it's a really cool FKT, a really cool story. We hit on a number of things from failure to success and how much it means. And oh yeah, if you're listening, Jamil Curry, she wants to be able to compete with all these women with big names at Cocodona. So if Bryce Brooks is listening, I'm sure you'll get this segment into the right person's ear. That was a wink. All right, this episode and all of them are brought to us by John G, Garage Grown Gear, Mount to Coast, and CS Coffee, of which I am drinking it right now. And during the FKT that I'm currently on, while this is releasing, I'm raising money for the Trevor Project, which supports like a hotline, therapy, a number of services to help out those who are different. I'm different. Look at me. I'm very different. And what I want to do is use this small platform that I have in this tiny niche that I have and this microphone that I bought with my own money because I can afford it because I get massive payouts from the FKT Association to lift up a vulnerable community because I think it's easy to get lost in this society that's run by people with billions of dollars or millions of followers. Dollars or followers, that's basically all we care about. But I just wanted to think about how contributing in a fundraiser to actually save lives can do something good. It's not just about inspiring. Sometimes it's about keeping someone checked into life and engaged enough so that they can live a full life. So that's why I'm raising money there. Now here is Katie Gunvalson. Support the show too. 5 stars really helps. Subscribe. Smash that subscribe button. Watch us on YouTube. All right, here is Raven. Back on the Free Outside podcast, we have on a Jeffrey Award winner. And if you don't remember what that is, it's pretty much the most prestigious award in trail. We have Katie Gunvalson, Raven, here to collect her award for the most tragic FKT of, 2024?
2024.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, it doesn't look like you're going to be getting that award again.
I hope
maybe.
there's another award for me this year. I've been trying to think of what it could be. I have some contenders, so we'll talk about it after.
Let's start there. What could the contenders be?
Oh, best comeback.
That's a great one.
That was the best one I had.
Okay, yeah, comeback story.
Least tragic FKT. Maybe we should just have like the Katie Gunvalson Comeback Award.
I mean, that's our style of awards.
Yeah.
You could have like the most specific training award.
Ooh, yes.
So you just set the Oregon Coast Trail FKT, right?
I did, yes.
And what was your time out there? How long did it take?
It was 7 days, 19 hours, and 41 minutes.
Okay. And so before we get too into the witty banter, this trail is really unique because you have to like plan for tides. You have to figure out how to get around inlets and massive rivers and stuff. What went into setting a record like this where you have to worry about a lot more than just walking?
Well, I planned it for like 5 whole days before I left, so not a lot of planning. But yeah, I had to organize my entire itinerary around a tide window. And I had a ton of help. I had no idea what I was doing. Nick Fowler helped me a ton. He has the men's self-supported record on the OCT. And I mean, we were talking about the trail and he was kind of like, I got it. Let me explain to you what a tide window is and when you should start and like all the things. And we're like looking at the tides and looking at the calendar. And I'm like, oh, I have to start this weekend. So we threw it together really fast, and yeah, I don't
How
know
do
if
you
that answers your
navigate
question.
the like massive bays and inlets? Do you have to walk around and across a bridge or swim across them? Or
Yeah, so it's a route. So everyone, you can choose your own adventure a little bit. I really wanted to follow Nick's precedent, which was essentially doing like the purest route possible. So I wanted to keep my footsteps connected. I didn't want to take any ferries through the bays or anything like that. And I wanted to follow the red line on far out as much as possible. There are a lot of alternate routes that you can take because of the tide window. So if the tide's too high, you take the alternate. But if you time the tides correctly, you can stay on that red line and like do it in a pure way. So that's what I did. So I did a ton of road walking. I walked around all the bays. There's one ferry on the route that's mandatory. It's like on that red line. But if you know about it in advance, you can walk around it. So yeah, I was walking around bays. I had a ton of actual water crossings. So I like got in the water a ton of time. There was one that was I got there at low tide, but the water was at least waist deep. I mean, you're almost swimming, really.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then one of the major tide dependent areas is early on, and another one is late, right? So
Yep.
you basically have to nail your splits to accomplish this.
Yeah, my entire itinerary was set around these 2 water crossings. There was one on day 2 and one on day 7. And the water crossings, they're pretty intense and such that I could only get there at low tide. If I got there at high tide or like higher tide, I wouldn't be able to cross. And so that would mean that I would have to take an alternate, which I was trying to not do. So I planned the whole thing around these 2 water crossings that are at opposite ends of the whole hike. And yeah, I just had to trust that I would be able to get there on time and time it correctly. And it was funny too, because it really determined how fast I could go for the whole hike. Because I actually ended up going too fast in the beginning and I had to slow down. But I had to. I mean, like my only other option was speed up so much that I could cut an entire day off of the whole itinerary. And people are like telling me that I should do that. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I've never been successful at this. Like, I really want this to work. So I guess I'll chill out.
Yeah, it's such a crazy FKT in the fact that you have to just plan for what's achievable and achieve it. Like, you can't just sprint and be like, wow, I'm surprising myself. Like, you'll get stuck because in 7 days you can't make up a full day. That's like making up 15%.
Or like screw up the whole tide schedule and then my whole plan is wrong, right? And then I like can't get across. Or I mean, Jameson, he has the supported men's record. He went on that crossing on the 7th day. He went over on a pack raft. So like I didn't have that option. I was self-supported. So so I was really limited in what I could do, which initially I wasn't worried about. I didn't even know if I could do the itinerary. I didn't even know if I could do this. And then 2 days in, I'm like 15 miles ahead of schedule. And I'm like, dang, this kind of sucks because I really want to like go for it and see what I'm capable of, but I'm sort of limited on this sort of route.
What do you do then when you know you're 15 miles ahead, but you can't be 15 miles ahead?
Slow down. I mean,
Just less miles a day or more sleep, or how would you do it?
more breaks.
Okay.
Or like any breaks. But like purposeful breaks. Like every break that I took was usually to like address my feet. I mean, because I'm doing a lot of beach walking, a ton of highway walking, like thinking about all the sand in your shoes, and then you're going to go walk on the 101 for like 6 hours. Like you have to stay on top of your feet or you're going to be really miserable. So I would take like a 10-minute break to like clean my feet off and rest them, like think like 10 minutes is going to do anything. But
it does something, it does
mentally,
something.
for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, like those middle days, I was hiking the same amount of time every single day. I was just taking more breaks, kind of taking my time, not running. Just,
yeah. Would this be a perfect route for Crocs, it seems like?
I don't know. Maybe not on the highway. I think that would.
Oh, they were great. Off trail, on trail, on
Perfect
highway.
road runner.
Yeah, exactly. Water crossings is where they shine. Sand. Yeah.
I mean, I was taking my shoes and socks off for the water crossings because my shoes and socks were never going to dry out. I mean, they weren't dry anyway, but it's a long time to have really wet feet on the beach and stuff.
Yeah, we have some drag racers, it sounds like, nearby. I mean, I'm just bouncing around home, so apparently I'm in the racing district here.
Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's just a really unique trail in the fact that you do have a ton of road walking. You have a ton of beaches as well, but also it can't be a beginner trail because you have tides as well. So I don't know what the target like hiker is for this sort of thing.
I mean, if you don't care about following the most like pure route, you can just take the alternates for all the tides. But you're going to be on the 101 a lot more, and like the highway is not the most scenic or best
safe.
part of the trail. Or safe. I mean, constant cars. Yeah, no, it was totally safe.
So you go through a ton of towns, or at least they're within reach. How did you treat your resupply schedule with wanting to go fast, but also towns are right there?
Yeah. Oh, it was hard not to get distracted. If you want to do like a chill, bougie hike, I think this is the one for you because you can be in town every day, basically. You can
Hold on. Let me cancel my AT attempt and book.
Yeah, you can eat town food. You can stay in town. Like, you don't have to do any of the miserable parts of through hiking if you don't want to. So there are like tons of distractions. But all of my resupplies were gas stations or convenience stores, and most of them weren't even on the far out map. Like I just looked at Google Maps and found the gas stations that were like on the way for me, because I didn't want to go to a grocery store. I didn't want to get lost in town. Like I just wanted the most direct, like easiest thing. So gas stations, and most of them weren't on the map. And I probably resupplied every like 50 to 70 miles. So almost every day, which does take time. So I tried not to like go to any of the restaurants or like any of the other stuff. I would like only go to the gas station. Like there was one morning where it was pretty cold and wet like the whole time. And there was one morning and I'm just like walking in fog for hours and I see a McDonald's and I'm like, yes, McDonald's. I'm like so excited. And then I remember or I don't remember, but like I'm supposed to be going to a resupply like right after that. It's at a gas station and I see the McDonald's and I really want to go. And then it occurs to me that the gas station is like a quarter mile away and they're a competitor of McDonald's. So they'll totally have breakfast sandwiches and hash browns, right? And they did.
Yeah.
And they did. And so I was like, no, skip McDonald's. We can only go to the gas station. And the gas station was great.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm curious because a number of people have started using gas stations because they're more efficient. So you're resupplying for 70 miles. You're about to walk in a gas station. What's your plan? What are you getting? How are you shopping?
Okay. Initially, I thought I was going to have like this whole plan and that I would spend the like hours walking to the gas station figuring out what I was going to get and like calculating the food and all this stuff, right? And that worked maybe like the first time. And then like immediately after that, I lost the ability to like, I couldn't do math. I couldn't figure out how much food I had to eat per mile. I couldn't figure out how much I had to buy. I didn't even know what I like wanted. So I just went in and bought the same things every single time.
And what were those things?
Sour Patch Kids or Sour Patch watermelons.
Those
are
are
great.
really good.
The favorites. Pizza flavored combos.
Okay.
Cheese, like any kind of like the Baby Bells or like the cheddar sticks or whatever.
Okay.
And then like some bars and stuff and like cheese crackers, the like Ritz cheese crackers.
So just like
Yeah.
highly processed
Garbage.
cheese. Basically
Garbage.
just,
Oh, and ramen, of course, my favorite.
would you cold soak it or?
Yeah, of course. Of
Okay.
course. But not every gas station has like the ramen packet, you know? So I'd buy like the cup, the styrofoam cup.
Yeah.
And like get out of the gas station and immediately tear it open and just dump it into my cold soak container and then just like throw the rest of it out.
Okay. Wow. I mean, it seems like just processed, we can call it cheese, but hints of cheese was basically your fuel for the entire trail.
Yeah, and it's funny too because the cheese would always, you know, like you'd start to get hungry and stuff, and you're like, oh, but I have cheese. It'll be great.
Yeah, this melty cheese.
Yeah,
No big deal.
but this FKT was great because I went in, like I already had an appetite by the time I went in because I had
Yeah.
like done all the training and been crewing and stuff. Whereas I typically, well, you know, have a lot of fueling issues where like I can't get anything down or I can't eat like any of the real food. And because all my resupplies were at gas stations, I couldn't have the like the tailwind or the carbs fuel or like the more like fancy runner stuff that I usually like to have. So I just like had to have the garbage. And it was great because I was already hungry and like on that diet a little bit. So
yeah,
it worked out.
I think it was probably cheaper for you to resupply for a whole day than go on like a long run for
Yeah.
the cost of calories.
Yeah, it kind of was unfortunate though, because like I have all of this like runner food and stuff at my house from this summer. So if I had the time to like put boxes together, I already had it all, and instead I'm out buying trash at the gas station, like whatever.
Yeah. So let's dive into the training because I think it kind of unlocks like how amazing training can be if you're just doing what you're gonna do on the FKT over and over again. So how did you train for this thing?
Yeah. Well, I was out crewing for Nick Fowler with you out on the PCT, and as I was a pacer, so I was doing all the miles with Nick at the same pace, but carrying all the gear.
You mean a mule? Yeah.
Yeah. Not a pacer, please. Yeah, actually, he was in front the most of the time, so I wasn't doing anything. But yeah, so just carrying all of his stuff, all of my stuff. I heard you speak about this, and I thought it was very funny because you're like running at like 4 miles an hour behind him, and then carrying like 6 liters of water,
And mixing tailwind.
and, also, I'm like really glad I didn't have tailwind on this FKT because I'm like so tired of mixing it.
Yeah. I'm still sticky from how much tailwind powder got all over me.
So it was really great training for something self-supported, especially because I was used to carrying a bunch of weight. I was used to moving really efficiently. I was used to eating trash and like
Sleeping uncomfortably.
sleeping.
Yeah.
I slept great on the FKT. Yeah. Used to sleeping in the dirt, getting like just everything being the way it is on trail, and being like more adjusted and acclimated to that sort of schedule. And after I got home, which is again why I like threw this together so quickly, as I got home and I realized I had a lot of time left before I was supposed to be back at work. I had all this fitness, I had all this like food and stuff, and it was kind of like, well, what else am I going to do?
All I
Like,
know
I'm ready.
Yeah.
I should go do something.
All I know are FKTs, so which one can I do next?
Yeah, which one? I was like, which one? Oh, Oregon. I live here. Perfect.
Yeah, exactly. So did you start out with like runner fuel and then just switch to gas stations after that?
Oh yeah, I had like a bag of gels basically, and I also had a whole bunch of rec packs because Nick just like pawned all his stuff on me after the FKT. I was like, I'll use that.
Okay.
I'm gonna go right now.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing people don't realize too is on a through hike or a very long FKT, appetite is a really hard thing to, like, it takes usually 2 weeks plus or minus 2 weeks for a lot of people to have that appetite kind of catch up to the exertion level and how many calories they're burning. And if you get that out of the way on someone else's adventure, then you're set.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it was really funny going into this summer because everyone who was helping out with the FKT was talking about how they were going to use it as training for something else. And I was like, really?
Yeah.
I thought I was just going to be like super exhausted after this. And then the more I thought about it, and then when I got home and realized like everything you're saying, like, oh, I've got the appetite already. I've got the fitness. I'm used to sleeping in the dirt. Like the time is now. If I want to go do something, it should be now. So
especially that specific, because I think of things in terms of like training camps. It wouldn't have been great to like go run a marathon, but you just had a training camp that was ultra specific to one style of moving. So
yeah. And I historically like don't train like that. I mean, I do like big days and stuff, but I mean, when I train for the PCT, I mostly do run training. It's like a pretty normal run schedule. I don't run more than like 60 miles a week or something. And I definitely don't run like 20 hours a week. Like I'm not doing that in training. And then this was like on the FKT attempt, like a 35-hour a week and like a 40-hour a week, and I guess it works.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is it hits on every factor of an FKT. Like you can go hike around Forest Park or have your gear or something, but you don't get heat, you don't get night practice, you don't get like
even
gear.
setting up your stuff, like setting up your sleep stuff. Like I was so efficient on this FKT because I was just so used to doing it. Like I've been sleeping in the same bivy and quilt for like a month straight. Like I don't.
Yeah, and you probably had used the same pack for a few hundred miles.
Please, I don't have anything new.
Yeah, that's what I was
use
thinking.
all the same garbage stuff. Like, if someone wants to send me a pack, that would be awesome because my pack is sad. Yeah.
How are you charging for the 7 days out there? Are you stopping at a strategic spot to like charge while you sleep or something?
Battery banks.
Okay.
Yep. So
Did
I
you
just
mail yourself them? Or
no, I just started with the full amount that I needed, with plans on dropping them as I use them up. But
just throw them in the ocean?
Yeah, I left one in like a public restroom. I thought someone would be excited to find it.
Yeah, because there's no hiker boxes out there.
No, there's no hiker boxes. There's like no other hikers. It's a different experience.
Yeah.
No one knows what you're doing out there.
Totally.
Like no one is asking me how my hike is going. They're like, "What are you doing?" They're like, "I saw you on 101 2 days ago, and you're still out here. What are you doing?"
Yeah, they're on a vacation, just like lounging on the beach.
Seriously, like people driving up and down the coast. They were like, "We saw you 3 times today."
Yeah, what do you say to that? Like, I'm going for a record?
No. Okay. Listen, I don't tell anyone what I'm doing. Like there were like 7 people who even knew that I was out there doing this while I was doing it. And I definitely don't tell anyone in the moment what I'm doing, but I will kind of, like if people ask, I'll share details and then I kind of like watch them try to figure it out. Like I talked to plenty of like gas station clerks and stuff and they would always ask me what I'm doing. And I'd be like, oh, I started at the Washington border and I'm hiking to California. And they'd be like, okay, when did you start? And I'd be like, 3 days ago. And they'd be like, what?
Yeah, I don't even like to drive that far.
Yeah, like one person told me a story about how they cycled the Oregon coast, like the 101,
Okay.
and they were like, it took us 7 days. And I was like, so you're telling me I'm moving as fast as a bike?
Wow. So circling back to the 7 days thing, do you think if you'd planned it to be a day quicker, you could have pulled that off for a faster FKT? I mean, I know it'd be risky, but I'm just curious.
In hindsight,
Maybe.
I kind of think yes, but I couldn't have made that decision in the moment. I don't think. And also, had I set it up that way, I think it would have been too intimidating. I don't think I would have even thought that I could do. I didn't even think I could do this. So
Yeah.
There's no way I would have been like, yeah, 58s. That sounds doable.
Yeah. And so I guess for context, how does it feel knowing that last year you had an FKT ruined on essentially day one, and then you finally got the monkey off your back and got this one done really well and clean? Does it feel like it's possible? And I guess let's start with, in the middle, you also went for an FKT, right?
What in the middle?
Did you go after the Arizona
Oh,
trail?
yeah. Yeah. I was like in the middle of what? I was like in the middle of this FKT. Yeah, I did. Look, I failed a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels a little unbelievable in some ways. Like like I said, planning this, I never would have thought that I could have gone for a faster itinerary. I didn't even think I could do the current one. Had a lot of hesitation going into this. Like, I didn't want to fail again. Like, I kind of felt like if I failed just like one more time, I was going to have to like hang it up. Like, I just don't think I like have it in me to like keep doing it. And, sorry, I'm losing track of what I was answering. Can you repeat what you said?
Yeah, just like how it feels for confidence and moving forward and feeling like you can actually do this, because especially last year, it was out of your control, but it's really hard to mentally separate that it's your fault or not when a fire ruins it on day one.
Yeah. I mean, I still am trying to process how I feel about the PCT, but my like main takeaway from that was that I couldn't do it. And that sucks. Like, that's a really hard to overcome. And then, I went after the Arizona Trail in the spring because some people put some wild ideas in my head. And
who would do that?
Who would do that? And truthfully, I just didn't have enough training to go for it. But I think if I had, I could have done it. But it didn't work out. And then I went to crew for Nick, and that also didn't work out. And so I was just really feeling like like I said, like I got home, I had the fitness, I had the time. If ever it were going to happen, it was going to be now. And it was a little half-hearted. Like, I was kind of like, if I fail again, like, oh man, I don't know if I can deal with that. And I just, let's see what happens, and to have it go so well. I mean, I'm pretty sure I called it the perfect FKT. It wasn't perfect, but like it went so well. To go so well that I have to slow down in the middle, and then we haven't even talked about the end yet, but the end was great too. And to have it go that well was such a win. Like, and a win that I have been wanting for a very long time. So it feels, a little unbelievable.
A quick break to talk about what I am wearing during this FKT, and spoiler alert, it's all Janji. So I'm wearing the men's Trekker snappy shirt, the reverse paisley color. Why? Because it's short sleeve and it's quick drying, and it's just really easy to open up and get a little bit more ventilation when humidity is going to be high out there on the AT. I'm also wearing the men's AFO middle short ultra. I wear a size medium. They're just great because they have pockets, and the world just needs more pockets. I can keep a bunch of snacks in my pockets, and I have hip belt pockets and side pockets and front pockets. So I just need food everywhere because I'm going to be eating between 8,000 and 10,000 calories a day. So I love the pockets on the men's AFO middle short ultra from Janji. And then the AFO hyperlight visor. Do visors look dumb? I don't know, but I'm in my 30s now, so it doesn't really matter. And they're just cool. I can put a bandana or a towel, cover my neck in the sun, or if I stick that bandana or towel in the water, it's just really good and cooling. So that is what I'm wearing. Shop at janji.com. Use code FREEOUTSIDE for a discount and tell them I sent you. Back to the episode. How did you kind of circle the wagons and feel confident going after another one? Because I guess, was it a lot of people pushing you to do it, or what? Because I know last year was devastating, and then you went again in the spring, and at some point it's got to be like just mentally overwhelming of like, it must just be me. How did you overcome those feelings?
For sure, I thought it was just me. Having other people really believe in me changed everything. Like having people like you tell me that I could go after it, having Nick tell me that I could go after it, having him like help me write out a whole itinerary and be like, I believe you can do this, changed everything. Like, I don't know that I fully believed I could do it. I do now. But having other people in my corner really, really helped. And I don't know that I would have kept trying if I didn't have that encouragement.
Mm-hmm. So let's go to the end of the FKT now. When does it start to feel like you're going to do it?
Okay, so, I mean, I thought I was going to do it the whole time. Okay, so the itinerary was set up so that if I got through the tide window correctly and like hit those water crossings correctly, I would definitely be set up to have the self-supported record by a pretty large margin. I knew that. But it also set me up to give me an opportunity to try for the supported record. I would like just maybe have enough time to go for it. And I would have to run. Like I would get to the final water crossing and then I would have like just enough time where like I could do it, but not walking.
Yeah.
And I knew for almost the whole time, especially because I had to slow down, that I was confident about the self-supported. Like I felt like I was going to do it. Like I'm feeling good. I know what I'm doing. I have this. And then on the evening of day 6, I ran into some bad weather, and it was basically like a windstorm, and they were telling boats and like watercraft to stay off the water because the conditions were so bad.
Great.
And yeah, great. And normally when this happens, you can choose to like get off the beach and take the highway as like the alternate to avoid the bad weather. But I was going into this really long beach section that was leading up to that water crossing that I had planned a whole itinerary around. And if I decided to take the highway to avoid the bad weather, I was also going to skip around the water crossing, which again, the whole hike was planned around. So like
Yeah.
I couldn't skip it. Like I didn't have that option, or it didn't feel like I had that option. And so I had to go through the windstorm and like have this super gnarly time leading up to this pretty intense water crossing that I had so much anxiety about and had been thinking about for 6 days. And in that moment, I thought, the record's gone. Like, I don't even know, like, what if I'm too slow during this section? What if I get hypothermic? Like, what? I don't know. Like, I think it's over. And I was like super upset.
The problem is you have this wealth of experience that is a bunch of doubt that's like also validated. Like it must have been, that's the hard part.
Like all of the experiences where I failed. Like it's like, oh man, we're gonna do this again. Like
it's almost like you're expecting it. It's such scary. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was very intense, and I had a horrible night, and then actually ended my day a little bit early, basically so I could sleep in a place that was off the beach, because sleeping on the beach is horrible. Like it's extremely windy. Like if you're not from the West Coast and you don't know what like Oregon beach is, it's like not like beautiful, sandy, like tropical beach. It's like miserable. Like I was freezing cold and wet the whole time. I wore my puffy jacket the whole time in the middle of July. Like it's not nice.
Like a really perfect weather day is like 65, 70
60
degrees.
and sunny. Yeah. Which would have been great.
Yeah. And that's like the peak. That's the best you get on the
that's
Oregon
the
coast.
best. So,
no one's like swimming in the ocean or snorkeling.
Or if you are, you're wearing a wetsuit. Like
yeah, or you're crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's like, it's always super windy and cold and all that stuff. But this is like next level. Oh man. Okay. So that night I thought it was gone. And then in the morning, I woke up at like 1 a.m. to start hiking. I did a 35-hour push at the end. So,
you're known for these. Yeah.
It's what I do.
Yeah. Yep.
And, so that was my last sleep that night after, or like in the middle of the windstorm. And then in the morning it was still horrible out, but, it was like a little bit better. And I realized that, I planned the whole hike around the tides, which also meant that I planned the whole hike around the moon. And so I planned for it was like the lowest tide of the whole month was what it was going to be. And it synced with a full moon. So like this last 35-hour push, I had a full moon for it. So I'm like hiking, it's like 1:30 in the morning and I'm getting like trashed by wind and stuff, but I don't have to use my headlamp. So it's great.
Yeah, moon shadows are so magical.
It was amazing. I've always heard that people plan FKTs around the moon cycle, and I've always tried to do that a little bit. And then this was like accidental. It was perfect.
Everything came together and you put less effort into it.
If I've learned anything, it's that I should stop making spreadsheets. I didn't even have a spreadsheet for this hike. Like, you should just gas stations and plan it in 5 days.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, so I'm trying to get to the end of the story. So the next day it was great, and then I timed the water crossing perfectly. I got there exactly at low tide. It was like 8:30 in the morning, and I actually crossed on dry sand. Like there was no water at all, which like I told Nick and Jameson this, and they were like, "What? That was the most intense thing. I can't believe there's no water." And And that was such a win that like in that moment I was like, okay, I have it. Like I'm going now. And, you know, the day continued. And then like at the very end in like the last 5 or 6 hours, I thought I was just going to get the self-supported. Like I was really, you know, the end of a 35-hour push, delirious, bonking. Like I was out of food and water for such a long time. Like it was horrible. And Nick is texting me and he's like, if you go 3 miles an hour, you can get the supported. If you go, like, he's like texting me all these like crazy stats. And I'm like, okay. And then finally I'm like, well, I'll just start running like a little bit. And then, and like that went okay. And then I like kept running and like that went okay. And then soon I realized like I would like run like the downhill sections and then kind of like start walking the uphill. And then I realized I could run the uphill too. And then I was just like, I'm just going to run the whole time. And,
Wow.
And like I knew in the final hours that I was definitely going to get the supported time. Like, yeah, I'm getting texts that are like, it's going to be a photo finish. You're going to be so close. And then I'm just like dropping like 11-minute miles. And suddenly I'm like 2 hours ahead of the record. I was like, no, I'm getting it. Like it's on.
Yeah. Was there something that like a switch that flipped in your brain or something of I don't care into I care so much I'm going to run this really hard?
Yeah, it was funny. It went from like, I am so cold and delirious that I am like, like just sort of like traipsing down the highway, like swaying back and forth. I had my quilt out like on over me. Like I look like a psycho. And, and then, and I'm on the phone and with Nick and he's like, you know, if you start running, you'll warm up. And I was like, yeah, that could be true. And he's like, and if you like eat your food, like you'll feel so much better. And I was like, I don't think so. Cause I only have candy and I feel like garbage. And then finally, like, I'm like, you know, I think I'm going to eat my food and start running. And he's like, okay.
You're
and
like
so
an ornery toddler. Like,
yeah. And so I just like eat like so many Sour Patch Kids. It's the only food I had left. And I put my quilt away and I was like, well, I guess I have to run. And it was like the switch flipped and once I realized I could run and I felt okay running, it was like, I'm getting this. Like I came all this way. I am not doing this. You know.
And does like the goal change in your mind too of like I'm going to get the overall and then it's like now I'm just going to run the whole way because I can. Like did you start just moving the goalposts further and further?
Or now I'm going to run because I want to be done.
Yeah.
But yeah, I started making up like new time goals. Like I was like I want to be done by 12:15. I'm going to be there, you know, and I start just going crazy.
Well, it seems like in action you almost saw like the acceptance of your ability or capability, like continue to like be more extreme of like, okay, I can do more than I thought I could. Now I can do way more than I thought I could. Now it's like, oh, I've been running for 3 hours. I can keep running.
For like 5 hours, seriously.
Yeah.
Seriously. But also like in the back of my mind, so I used to be a road marathoner. So.
Used to be retired?
I haven't run it's been a while since I started doing this stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'll go back to it. I don't know. But I used to run a lot on the roads. Like it was my thing. And this section, the end of the trail is the road. I was on the highway and I just sort of like realized that I knew what I was doing. Like I was like, wait, I know how to run the end of a marathon. Like I know how to run through the wall at the end. I know how to run with like my quads burning so bad, like all these things. And then I realized I didn't feel that way. Like I actually felt way better. And I was like, well, I'm just going to run until I feel that way, right? Like I'm going to run until I feel like the way I do at the end of a marathon. And then I just never actually felt that way. But yeah, it was like this moment of like, I totally know what I'm doing. And it was like this muscle memory. Like my body just like totally took over and like totally knew what I was doing. And I don't even know where my brain was. It turned off.
And then you finish, and what is that like? Who's there? How does it feel? Are you just like relieved or excited? Yeah, take us through the finish now.
Okay, so the end is funny. So there's there's a pretty big like river crossing at the end, and I actually chose to take the alternate on this part to take the bridge across, and I take this bridge and then I'm supposed to connect to a trail that then connects to the beach. And I get off the bridge and the trail is like, I don't know, not heavily used. So it kind of like disappears, and I've got far out on my phone and I'm just standing there, and I'm like a quarter mile from the end, right? And I'm like melting down and I can't figure out where to go. I just like walk around in circles going, help me, help me, help me. Like, what do I do?
After running for 5 hours, you suddenly stop a quarter mile from the end.
Yeah, and of course there's like no one around or anything. Like I'm just like, oh my God, I'm gonna lose it right now. I can't figure out where to go. And I figure it out, and I like connect to the beach, and suddenly I'm on this beach and there's like all these people everywhere, and I'm like sprinting to the end, and
They must think you're insane.
they think everyone saw me like running through. I also ran through like a whole town before this, and you know, I've got like a backpack that is way too big to be running with, and I just look crazy.
Yeah, they're looking for the guy
Totally
chasing you,
crazy.
and
Yeah.
there's no one, so they're like, yep, she is schizophrenic.
But in my head, I'm like, I'm crushing it, you know, like just hilarious. So I get to the beach, and there's nothing that indicates there's a border there, like, because it's just the beach.
Yeah.
And my husband was there, so he put a line in the sand and wrote like Oregon and California, and spelled out FKT in rocks and like all this stuff. But the beach is so foggy that I can't see where he is. So I'm just like sprinting down this beach in the fog, and there's like groups of people, and they like get to a group. I'm like, did he invite other people? Which he knows I would absolutely hate. So I was like, oh my God, he like invited other people, and then I'm like parting this group. They're just like trying to get out of the way.
And you haven't slept in a day and a half at
In
this
a day and a
point.
half. Like, and also I smell like so bad. Like, cause everything's like, you know, from the AT, like wet, and like, it is not the PCT, which is like
No.
oddly nice, but no, I'm like disgusting. I smell gross. I look horrible. I'm crazy. Also, the day before I had a really bad fall on the highway, and I basically landed on my knees. So my knees were totally like really cut up and bleeding, but it was like 24 hours earlier. So I was like, I'm not going to take the time to do anything. I'm just going to let my knees be running with blood. Like, I look crazy.
Yeah.
So I finally, like, I sprint, and I see my husband, and I see what's happening, and I just like run across the line that he created, and then I like immediately stop and like take all these like screenshots of my phone to show that I like had crossed the line on the map, and like all this stuff, and he's like trying to get like the finish photo, and I'm like, no, I have to do all this stuff. It's so important. I need to document it.
It's the exhausted, frenetic brain when it comes out. You're just
Yeah.
like, no, stop. I need to do all these
Yeah,
things. And it's
leave
like,
me alone.
yeah, it's really like, calm down. You're good. But it's like, no,
like,
I
you
have
need
to. Don't talk to me. I don't care
This
that
is
you're
the
here.
most important part.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I just like, I don't know, like collapsed on the ground. I mean, my feet hurt so bad. Like, everything else was fine. Like, you know, classic Katie, like legs felt fine, felt totally perfect the whole time. No chafing, no blisters, like nothing. But my feet hurt so bad from the road, from the sand, from
It's
18-hour
basically
days.
like
I don't know.
running marathons, but in between you're running on sandpaper.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's terrible.
Yeah. And the worst part is it's not always, like, sometimes it's like nice, compact sand, but a lot of the time it's like walking through the sandbox, you know, like,
Or even with like plants around and dunes and
yeah.
stuff too.
Oh yeah. And dunes. Yeah. And there were bits of trail too. And, you know, the trail is also not the PCT and not graded.
Yeah, there's like
Just like
blowdowns
straight
and
up.
stuff.
Like, I was like, well, oh my God.
And and there's like blowdowns, and it's not well maintained a lot of
Yeah.
places.
No, it's garbage.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Have I sold this to you? Do you want to do it yet?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's high on my list. So I want to talk about like supported FKC, or obviously have a bunch of support, but self-supported too. There's this whole like contingent where you have someone doing your math, and like before you kind of stand on the shoulders of those that have come before. Kind of what people are helping you out while you're out there and before to accomplish this. Cause I think it's like this big misnomer that self-supported or unsupported means no one ever talks to you, you never do anything, but it is like a very community driven achievement.
I totally agree. I actually think this was like the most supported I've ever felt on an FKT, and it was self-supported.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Nick gave me all of his beta, like, and I mean, like daily beta, not like, oh, there's a gas station here. It was like very intricate, like detailed, like incredibly helpful. I had someone doing all of my math for me, like the whole time, like not just like daily mileage, but like how fast I should be moving, how fast I should be moving at the end, like how hard I had to push to get that supported record. I have a running coach, and she was always on standby doing stuff for me. My husband, of course, was very emotionally supportive and always there for me. Like, I mean, I had people, I felt like I had someone like in it with me the whole time, which is crazy.
And explain this math side, because I don't think a lot of people get it. So like, what kind of texts are you getting, and are you asking, like, are you ahead or behind, or is it compared to the previous records that you're getting? Just like, what kind of information is valuable for you out there?
This one was very complex because it's a route. Like all of the other record holders have done different amounts of miles, so I'm not even really comparing directly to the record that I'm going up against. Like, it was really complicated. But so the numbers she would run for me were like how far ahead I am of the record. I mean, because I was always ahead, but it's like how where I am against the record, and like where my mileage needs to be to like stay that way, like how many miles per day I have to do, and like not even in like a way that's like, when I was ahead, the numbers I would get were like, you're on track, you could do 45 miles a day and still get the record, you know, or something, you know, like, yeah, I don't know if that's making sense, but yeah,
totally. Like, you're ahead enough that now you have to do less miles per day to get the record.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Or same thing with the speed. Like, you're moving fast enough now that you only need to move 2.5 miles per hour to get the record, or you need to speed up. You need to go 4 miles an hour, you know?
Yeah.
And it was helpful to have all of that information, because especially at the end when I'm like really running for it, I don't know that I definitely wouldn't be able to do the math of like how fast I had to move. And I don't think, I mean, there were so many moments at the end where I thought I didn't have the support. I thought I wasn't going to get it. I was like, no, I'm delirious and too far behind, and there's no way I can run now, and like all these things. And then someone feeds you the information and you realize you can.
Yeah. And it's such an important role that I don't think a lot of people get, because you are going to be doing math no matter what out there, but you're getting this source of hopefully completely accurate math that you don't have to depend on.
Yeah, I was going to say,
brain.
I was always doing math, please. Even though I didn't have to, I was always doing math, but it was not always accurate.
Yeah. But you have this other person who can literally not have to be multitasking, that can do the math for you.
Yeah. It's so helpful. And I've had other people run numbers for me in the past, but not to that level. And I would definitely do it again. Yeah.
Yeah. I think mathematician should be a role on a FKT team.
I know. I've told my friend she should like offer her service, like paid services for other FKTers, but I don't think she will.
Yeah. So zooming out, you've attempted and been a part of a number of FKTs now. What are some of the things you learned this year through like the Arizona Trail, a supported PCT, and then a successful self-supported one? Where are you different than, say, a year ago?
Well, first, I definitely learned that it's okay to fail, and that everyone fails. Even people who have very stout, impressive records, they also fail. And for such a long time, I felt like that was just a me thing, like only I fail, which is ridiculous. But it's easy to feel that way when it keeps happening.
Big time, yeah.
I think I also really learned, like, a huge takeaway from crewing this summer and being a part of an attempt like that, and like with other people, so many other like very accomplished people. I guess I learned I was a lot closer than I thought I was. Like, I thought I had no idea what I was doing, no business doing any of this. And then I like get around a whole bunch of other people and realize I do know what I'm doing. I do know like some of this stuff, and I am really close. And maybe the failure isn't necessarily a reflection on like what I'm capable of. It's more like circumstantial, or, you know, you can fail for so many reasons. So, I mean, what keeps this stuff exciting is that so many things can go wrong.
Yeah, there's only one FKT. Like, even if you're the second best ever,
Too bad.
don't get it. Yeah, it's. I think that's where it's so intriguing, but also so scary. Is you have to put yourself out there in a way that is not very natural. Of I'm going to try to be the best at something, and it's often frowned upon in our society to even be that arrogant per se, or say like I'm going to try to show that I'm the best, and you have to go against the grain in so many ways. And then when things stack up against you and you face problems, you have to figure out how to navigate through them. It's like on the stage in front of people.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think you would have won a Jeffrey last year if you hadn't failed. So I think it is part of the growth, but I also think it adds, I always think of the failures, and talking to athletes about this too, is it just adds this depth of, you have to really solidify the why and why you're stepping to the start of something, because once you know that the possibility is complete and utter failure in some ways, like the Arizona Trail might have been, then you realize that, I have to be getting something out of this on every day, or else I'm going to go home with nothing if it doesn't work out.
Yeah, and you have to be okay with failing, right? And I think for a long time, I went into these things feeling like failure wasn't an option, even though I was failing. But it felt so bad, you know? And then to kind of just realize that, like, everyone has at least a 50-50 shot. And that you just have to accept that as something that might happen, the way that you have to accept all of the other things that might happen. Like I think part of the reason this FKT went so well is that I have experience doing these things that have gone wrong. And so I've managed all the problems. So I'm not afraid of the problems anymore, you know, like, bring them on. Like, I think they're interesting. I want to figure out how to manage them in the moment, and that keeps it like interesting and fun in a weird way. Like I wasn't suffering out there. Maybe I was miserable sometimes, but it wasn't super painful. It wasn't this suffer fest. It wasn't this, like, every time a problem happened, it was so overwhelming. It was more like, this is all part of it, and this is part of the experience of being out here, and I'm kind of out here to have a bad time a little bit, and I want to manage all the problems. And then likewise, like, if I fail, that's part of it too. So I don't know. I think having more of like a holistic view of what this actually is, and not making it so black and white.
Yeah. And I think this is just like a really important part of everything too. Like, say everything went well and you got the PCT FKT last year, like, that's awesome and be a different trajectory. But I don't know. I think just seeing there's just such almost a double standard too on like men and women in the FKT scene, and you being able to suffer through and finish out the PCT and then go after the Arizona Trail and circle the wagons and come back and do the Oregon Coast Trail. I think that's just way more powerful of an example than just, you know, everything going perfectly.
Than winning all the time.
Yeah. I mean, winning all the time is unrelatable.
Yeah, it is. It is. Well, thanks. I mean, I hope it's a good story. That's why I'm doing this, right? It's for all of you.
It's only for the story. Yeah. Memoir coming soon.
Well, actually, yeah.
So what do you want to do next? What does this open up in your mind? You don't have to give specifics, but you can.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely curious about more FKTs. I know that I can do this much, and so I definitely want to find out what else I can do. I don't know. There's all kinds of stuff I would love to do. You know, there's like this little race called Cocodona that I would love to figure out how to run one day. If anyone knows how to help me there.
It's only like 10 marathons. No big deal.
Easy. No, listen, I feel like I have this like dialed in. Like, I'm known for, I know myself for like not sleeping for like 72 hours and then and like 35. So I feel really cut out for the 250 distance.
I think you are.
I would be some great competition.
Can you do Mammoth this year? Is there still spots for Mammoth 200?
When is it?
I think like
Tomorrow.
late September. Yeah.
Maybe. I was kind of thinking about jumping into the Oregon 200. It's at the end of August. But then I did this. I mean, I had all kinds of ideas after crewing on the PCT. But I really just wanted a win. And
Yeah, you got that. So, and now you have this springboard.
Now I'm just going to keep collecting them. Yeah. No, I don't know.
Are the longer trails still interesting, like Arizona Trail or longer?
For sure, Arizona. But there's a bad fire this year, so it's pretty much off limits until next year. So and
the spring is the slowest time of year to do it.
So I'm not going to make that mistake again.
Yeah, but it's a good time to try.
No, we did that already. No, I don't know. Yeah, but I don't know what's next. I'm sure you have lots of ideas for me that I will follow up on.
I am stoked that you have some interest in the 200-mile scene. I think that it's very, I think it's the scene that's going to just continue to grow really fast, and so little is figured out that I think your ability to kind of roll with the punches is going to work really well. Like, the weather can be anything. The forecast isn't even accurate enough because the race lasts so long that it could change.
Totally. Well, please keep spreading that rumor that I'd be good at this and that I should... that
you should get into Cocodona this year?
Definitely, yes.
Yeah, I'm sure Jamil Curry listens sometimes. So
I know,
maybe,
Jamil, please. Yeah, I'm so good at this. I was the only woman on the crew for Nick Fowler. I feel like that speaks volumes.
Okay, continue to sell us. What else on your resume? This is your one chance if Jamil's listening.
Okay, at the end of the PCT, I did a 140-mile push just on my own accord. I wasn't even going to get a record. It was just for fun, I guess.
That's bad use of the F word, but yeah.
At the end of the Oregon Coast FKT, which I smashed, by the way, I ran for 5 hours at the end and got the overall women's record. I think that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I like it. All right, this was perfect. You have a newfound confidence too. Okay, now that we've made it through the majority of the interview, we need to circle around to what award should we create for you to win a Jeffrey this year? The Katie Gunvalson
Comeback Award, or I'm trying to think of like some of the funnier ones that you had.
We
have anything funny?
Well, we just come up with them all the day before in December, but don't tell anyone that. It's a highly coveted award show.
I was honored to receive. By the way, I'm still waiting for my award Crocs.
They got lost in the mail for everyone involved. It's so sad because someone offered to pay for us to make them, but we just didn't follow through. The podcast is hard enough to produce and put out that it was like, make awards for 20 different people.
This year, I think you should give out. I mean, you should mail something, even like a funny certificate that you like print off the internet.
Yeah, you're hired. All right, intern.
Great. Perfect. I'm going to give myself a lot of awards.
How about intern of the year? And then your first day and only day is mailing out all the awards.
I think I should be like favorite recurring guest.
Oh, wow. That's going to be a competitive one.
I actually don't know who else has repeat episodes with you, so I don't know who I'm up against.
So Nick has repeating episodes. Who else? Derek does. Allison Mercer does.
Some tough competition.
It's a great award, though. Thank you. You're hired as intern. What do we pay? Maybe we can get you a pack. That's
Cocodona
actually good enough pay. Yeah. Ooh, I don't know.
Actually, yeah.
Maybe we can connect the dots on
like, what
getting
else do I need?
But I like the idea of the certificate. It's just like some half marathons and stuff. It's like download your finisher's certificate. That can be the thing that we send out.
You could also do like a funny photo of you on like a green screen, and so it's like you giving the award, and then the person can like Photoshop themselves in.
That's good. Or I'll just grab like their profile picture from
I just
whatever.
paste their photo.
Yeah, and it just like doesn't look that good, but it's our level of awards. I mean, it's a Jeffrey. Just putting that in your bio is an award enough.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
It's probably in your Strava bio.
Look how much has changed for me since I won the Jeffrey Award.
You're right. You are living proof that a Jeffrey can change lives. Wow, we need to take it more seriously this year.
You've
Just
got
kidding.
5 months.
Yeah, we definitely won't. All I know is that I will win another Jeffrey. That's
Yes.
the only given every year.
You will give one to yourself.
Yeah, because
Guaranteed.
I want the bio of the podcast to say 2-time Jeffrey Award winner.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think of that. That's
After a
great.
decade, it's going to be really cool. 10-time.
10 time.
I'm going to have a studio, and they're going to be all back here on the
Yeah.
on the mantle.
Yeah, exactly. Next time I'm on the podcast, I'll have my awards behind me.
Okay. We'll come up with an award somehow. I mean, I'm leaving for the AT in 4 days, so we're going to need
Tons of time.
a lot of intern help out here.
You're going to have a lot of time to think about this on the AT. Actually, is that like one of your trail things? Like when you're bored, you just think up like silly awards? Like, I'm going to give myself like, like, I don't know.
I do
Heaviest
like it.
stepper award.
Yeah, it is a good idea. Like most mud worn or something.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I do like it. Or maybe most peaks bagged with a laptop or something like that.
Ooh, or like driest laptop award.
Oh, that is good. That's a really stupid but perfect award. Maybe I can find like an old laptop at like a Goodwill and I'll just write it on it. That'll be the award.
Perfect. That should be the award. Yeah.
Okay, as much effort as we put into this, it makes me realize I really do need an intern to do these awards. Like, I am not going to put this much time into the award portion. I put so much into just coming up with nominees.
I have to come up with the winners. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, we'll do a voting system for the winners, and I will be the only one that votes. So it'll be
I can
democratic
vote for
process.
You. Just write myself in for every award.
Yeah, behind the curtains for everyone, this is how it goes. I decide who should win, and then I have to come up with nominees to also announce who's around it.
Exactly.
And it's like, we don't know the name of the award. We'll just call it the Terra Dower East Coaster Award. Wonder who's going to win.
Yeah, I mean, who's going to win this year?
Yeah, I know.
The suspense is killing me.
I know. She moved to Durango, so she really set herself back.
Yeah.
But she is going for the long trail
For the long
record.
trail, yeah.
So there is a chance.
There's still time.
My favorite award, though, is Walker of the Year. You ran too much of the trail, though.
I know.
I don't think we can nominate you.
I know. Why did I do that?
But it is funny to nominate someone who like didn't walk. Like we nominated the guy who ran the length of Africa and he kept marketing it as running it, and it was like Walker of the Year nominee. We know how it goes, dude.
I love it. Best walker.
Yeah. Ooh,
Most
best
hardcore
walking
walker.
form, maybe.
Yeah. Best walking form.
Yeah. All right. Do you have any parting words of wisdom to anyone out there that's got to overcome failure and hasn't had their big win yet?
Well, I don't know. It sounds silly, but I like truly thought this wasn't going to happen for me. Like I really thought it wasn't ever going to work out. So I would say keep trying.
Yeah. Never give up. Never
Never give up.
surrender.
Yeah.
Perfect.
You too can become a Jeffrey Award winning walker.
Boom. All right. We got to end it there. That's too
End it
good.
there. Cut. Roll the credit.
Thanks for listening to the show. This and all of them are brought to you by CS Coffee, Garage Grown Gear, and Janji.com. Use code FREEOUTSIDE. Tell them I sent you. I'm wearing most of their clothing, which I probably dropped an ad in the middle of the episode, so go back and listen to that if you want to know what I'm wearing out there. If you want to directly support the show and contribute to an actual studio so I'm not bouncing around bedrooms recording this, then feel free. Patreon.com/freeoutside. All right. That is everything we have. Hopefully I'm doing well out there. Stay elite, my friends.